Hello there. Let me start to talk about the results of my February challenge. And oh my God, what a challenge it was. Remember early February, I told you about my previous challenge and how I wanted to make February into the month that I was going to touch people more. And then the COVID-19 virus started happening. You may know that I live in Brighton, which is one of the hotspots of the virus outbreak in the UK. There have been a number of reported cases linked to Brighton so far, and there is a good level of panic going on around me. People are wearing face masks, people are more retreated, and in general, with an outbreak of a transmissible disease, people tend not to touch each other very much, which put quite a crimp on my challenge this month. However, it put me into another position. So I've changed the parameters of the challenge a little bit. I ended up looking at the effects of a situation where people touch each other less. So it's kind of a negative test of what I set out to do. And it's quite interesting what I experienced. I found myself to be more inclined to hold back on touching people. And if anything, I find it really disturbing that this illness has such an effect on something that is intrinsically human. We try to create connection through physical connection and enforce an emotional state by using touch. There is something to be said for embracing people, for hugging people, for kissing people on the cheek or on the mouth even. Holding hands, putting a hand on somebody's arm. All these things come natural to most of us. And it feels very restrictive to find yourself second guessing those things. And speaking for myself, it made me feel uncomfortable that I wasn't able to touch people in the way I would usually do. And yes, I'm generally a fairly touchy-feely person, but I would assume that most people will feel a certain effect from that sense of not being able to touch. How can we get over this? And I'm not saying that we should touch people more, because in view of the current health crisis, that might not be the best idea. My advice would be to not panic, but to look at things from a rational perspective. That said, I nearly forgot to mention what my challenge for the next month is going to be. I already have a bit of a meditation regimen, but I want to make it more regular. And that's my challenge for the month of March. It's going to be tough because I'm going to be traveling quite a bit. So irregularity is not the best friend of regular meditation. So let's see how that goes. Be careful, as always, and be well and stay well.